Katika mkutano uliofanyika katika kaunti ya Migori, aliashiria kuwa leo Jumatatu ataandaa mkutano wa dharura na wabunge wa ODM na UDA kwa mara ya kwanza tangu usuhuba wa kinara wa ODM Raila Odinga uanze. Mkutano huu umeibua mjadala katika ulingo wa siasa, huku wengi wakiuona kama hatua ya kuimarisha udhibiti muungano huo. Kwa sasa wacha tuvuke moja kwa moja tusikilize kile ambacho kinaendelea katika maeneo ya Karen.
And seeks to pursue a humane redress for the harms suffered. We've decided to pursue the period from January 1st, 2017 to July 31st, 2025. This period we think is long enough, but also short enough to be manageable. We think that compensation of victims is the best place to start this effort. It is because compensation is tangible, it is time-bound, and it is intended to unify our country. The panel that we seek to create will have the faces of Kenyans that all of you will be able to recognize and to see that they represent the face of the country. We will draw upon the Law Society of Kenya. We will draw from religious organizations. We will draw from civil society and from youth and women leaders. This panel itself will approve the framework for the compensation process. It will establish the eligibility criteria and the schedules to be followed, and will perform other acts related to compensation. We will be able to ensure in this process compliance with human rights norms and laws, and also adhere to public finance laws. As the President instructed us, our mandate is to deliver within 120 days. We'll also establish a technical team to work with us. And this technical team will draw from various institutions and organizations. Obviously, the Office of the Attorney General, the Executive Office of the President, the Ministry of the Interior, the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, and subject matter experts. All of these institutions and folks will form the backbone of our technical team. We shall also draw from psychology and trauma specialists, statisticians, data scientists, forensic experts, and record keepers and data protection individuals. I suppose that is a warning. The Secretariat will be domiciled at the Office of the President. I just want to say that in spite of the steps that I have outlined, that we have made quite a lot of progress in identifying individuals for both teams, for both the panel and also the technical team.
Thank you.
And I expect that we shall be announcing this panel by the end of this week. Thank you so much. And we want your support. And we want you to be our ambassadors throughout the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Asante. A hand of applause for Prof and Daktari Agnezani. Professor? Prof. Your Excellencies, the President, Prime Minister, and the Deputy President, with those two presentations, Your Excellency, members, we appreciate the seriousness of not just the implementation of the NADCO report, which we have been appraised on its implementation, and Your Excellency, I must appreciate all the members of Parliament, both in the Senate and in the National Assembly, for the support that they have accorded us in the legislative process of enacting the NADCO legislative bills that we have and those that are still within the two houses. We have committed that we will continue to endeavor to have them adopted and signed into law. Your Excellencies, the 10-point agenda, as has been clearly enumerated by Dr. Agnes Zani, are not about you as a president or the Prime Minister. These 10 points are about the nation of Kenya. The full implementation of these 10 points are not about ODM as a political party or the Kenya Kwanza coalition parties. They are about the future of our nation. And therefore, as a parliamentary group, we want to commit, Your Excellencies, that we will continue to ensure that we extend the support that is needed by the Agnes Zani team and also to Professor Makau Mutua's team, because as Professor has alluded to, there will be legislative proposals that will come to the houses, as well as requests for budgetary support in the implementation of the work that these two important committees are doing. Therefore, Your Excellency, allow me to close at that point and to now, Your Excellency, before I invite the Deputy President, we know whether ni fire si fire, noma si noma. We want to hear whether the Deputy President, whether when he says ni fire si fire, ni noma si noma, whether he can earn himself a second term as the Deputy President, as usual, depending on what he says and how he engages with this House. Honorable members, allow me to welcome the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Professor Kindi. Karibu.
Thank you. I wanted the Leader of Majority to delay a bit because the Prime Minister stepped out, because I wanted to take the shortest time here, having seen what my predecessors have gone through. and you know, both my predecessors are just like me from academia. So I was very worried. I wanted really we delay until the Prime Minister comes back. But I'm grateful to what Dr. Zani and team are doing. You're helping the country deal with very, very difficult issues. I am also very impressed by Professor Makau Mutua's work. It's quite a heavy topic that he's handling on behalf of the country. So my sister, Dr. Zani, and my academic senior, Professor Makau Mutua, I wish you Godspeed as you do this on behalf of all of us. Your Excellency, the President, and Your Excellency, Prime Minister, and my colleagues, let me just say two things as we wait for the Prime Minister to come back and address us. The first one is, for the last 33 years, our country has revolved around majorly two political formations. And the difference in the political strength of those two major political formations has not been very big difference. We've been like that since we went into multi-party politics. So that you have a strong party winning, but even the opposition is fairly strong. What that means, therefore, is that our country, like all democracies, requires bipartisan consensus building, especially to deal with serious and heavy national issues and national challenges. I like what my mono in school and the leader of the National Assembly minority side, Jeanette, said. my distinguished mono. He said that oh, he's back. I was just praising you, we need bipartisan efforts to heavy lift the serious national issues. You've seen them in the 10-point agenda. The fight against corruption, the fight against ethnic bias, the fight against all these vices. Without bipartisan efforts, no single side can be able to ever lift these national issues. So let us not underestimate what the leadership of the UDA through President Ruto, the leadership of ODM through His Excellency Raila Odinga has helped us to achieve as a nation. Because none of us alone would have enough political largesse to be able to even lift on some of the issues we are discussing here today. So we are in good space, and for that we must celebrate and acknowledge the visionary leadership of President William Ruto and the visionary leadership and statesmanship of our elder brother, the Honorable Raila Odinga. Going forward, those of us who are younger politicians, we should pick lessons from these two leaders, because there's a lot of excitement by many people who are in the political space, and they think leading the country or managing the country's affairs is a small issue. And some of the characters running up and down around, if they are given this nation to manage even for a day, the country will sink, because they don't have enough wisdom and enough foresight to be able to manage the complex society that is Kenya. So, Prime Minister, we appreciate your leadership, your vision, and you've been able to show us, those of us who are younger politicians, that elections and politics should not undermine the collective interest, stability, and progress of our nation. You have helped us understand that individual ambitions to become whatever we want to become should not stand between us and our country's stability, progress, and sustainability. The last point I want to make now that we have reached where we wanted to reach is that, again, just to emphasize that I am happy to see again many political parties whose leadership is here, but although the NATCO and the 10-point agenda was introduced by the two largest parties, UDA and ODM, we have other allies who have joined us from both sides. And what this means is that the country is generally and gradually forming the national consensus that we are looking for. And therefore, for me, the lesson I pick, even looking at the leadership that has spoken here, Stewart Matzayo from Kilifi, Owen Baya from Kilifi, Junaid Mohammed from Migori, Migori and other places, and myself. Those who have felt that perhaps they need space to show their leadership skills, yet they feel their background, their religion, their ethnicity disadvantages them. Perhaps in a large national party, to realize your dream, your potential, and your skills to be tapped than other national party skills to be tapped than otherwise. And therefore, going forward, as we form coalitions and build our respective parties, let us look towards building national parties as opposed to sectarian parties, because that is where the future of our nation is best assured. So, on that basis, I want to end there, because I saw my colleagues got, I don't know who got no term. I want to end there and wish this meeting all the best. All right. Now, because our leaders are here, after the formal event is over, I'll remain behind, and then we'll also test a few slogans after that. With those many remarks, let me take this opportunity with a lot of respect to request our elder brother, our statesman, the leader of ODM, Your Excellency Raila Odinga, please come and address us. Wapi makofi ya baba jameni? Baba ni fire si fire.
Mr. President, Deputy President, honorable members of Parliament, hamjambo. Hamjambo tena. Hey, I think I see almost a full house. Senators and members of the National Assembly. Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here this morning to see you. I want to say that I am charged, but I'm not scared. You know, I've been a member of Parliament for this constituency for 20 years. And I used to meet with members of Parliament. I was a Prime Minister. And every Wednesday was a Prime Minister's question time in Parliament. I used to be harassed a lot by members of Parliament. And that's why I'm not scared. But let me begin to say that none of us thought a day would come when protagonists just a year ago would get together to chart a joint way forward for this country. How did we find ourselves together, and why are we here today? 1. In life of a nation, there comes a time when danger knocks on the door. It happened in the US during the Civil War that threatened to dismember the USA as we know it today. There's a region today referred to as former Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia existed as a country between 1918 and 1992. Then it fell apart into several countries, including Croatia, Montenegro, Serbia, Slovenia, Bosnia, and Macedonia. The former president of Yugoslavia, the late General Josip Broz Tito, used to say jokingly that I am the glue that is holding this fragile nation called Yugoslavia together. And if I depart, it may disintegrate in several small nations. And true to his prophecy, that's happened today. There's no Yugoslavia. Closer to home here next door is Somalia. In 1991, we were here when Siad Barre was forced to run out into exile where he died. Look at Somalia today. So there are several examples that exist around the world. As leaders, we are supposed to scan the horizon spot the danger, and act to subvert that danger. In 2024, that last year, we understood that the dark clouds that were gathering over Kenya could have been exciting, but they could also mark the end of Kenya. We decided that it is better to have an imperfect country that is struggling to mend its ways than to have a collapsed one. We came together to create an environment in which we can discuss our issues and differences as people of one nation. As you know, and as you know here, there are countries that cannot discuss their issues at home. In my life, I have attended many meetings in London, Paris, Istanbul, Washington, name it, where African leaders are ferried to foreign capitals from their own collapsing countries to discuss issues they cannot discuss at home. We go together to spare Kenyan that shame. Our object was and remains one, as one US senator called it, our country, our whole country, and nothing but our country. Having stabilized the nation, how have we performed in the intervening periods? How do we do better? How do we move forward in a way that respects the people of Kenya and that shows that we are alive to the circumstances that triggered our coming together and that we are acting on them? That is our object today. And that's why we are here today. We met and decided that we needed to have, for the first time, a joint parliamentary group meeting. We could now discuss with our members of parliament. It's over 2 months ago, an opportunity to discuss in this very same place here with the members of the executive. They came here and actually came with the blueprint of the performance, what they had done up to that time, and what they were intended to continue doing going forward. And I was very candid with them in my discussions with them. And I told them where I thought they were not doing right and what I thought they should be doing rightly. So as always, I'm always very candid indeed. Today I'm meeting the members of the legislature. As you know, we have got 3 very important institutions: the executive, legislature, the judiciary. And I'm hoping that in not very far away from today, I will have opportunity to talk to the judiciary as well. So I'm going to be very candid with you people. to talk to you as a former member of parliament. Yes, the leader, Kimani Ichung'wah, referred to the Constitution and told me the issues like NDF and and Senate oversight in the counties is in the Constitution. I want him to cite to me the section of that Constitution that he's referring to. Because as you know, I was very involved with the Constitution, making Constitution of this country. And at another time, I would want to bring Professor Yashpal Guy, who was the leader of that Constitution making. And we went through very many issues. We had committees in the bombers of Kenya dealing with various segments of that Constitution. The executive was one. Legislature is another one. Judiciary is another one. Devolution, another committee. And devolution was very contentious because we had very many people who did not want the devolution because of what had happened at independence. As you know, we started with the devolved system government, Majimbo. The foundation of Majimbo was actually contentious because it was ethnic-based. The colonialists and the settlers had actually instilled fear in the people that over the bigger communities, the bigger tribes at that time, the Luos and the Kikuyus, will lord it over the smaller tribes. And thus the smaller tribes need to safeguard themselves by creating regions and powers so that they can be able to be protected. That was the basis of Majimbo. And it was a very lengthy discussion at Sri Lanka's house. So KANU accepted Majimbo in London, but with the understanding that they would change it after the independence. So after independence, KANU actually started to frustrate Majimbo by not remitting funds to the regional government. I want to refer you to the Hansard in the Bunge. There's a motion that was moved by the then leader of opposition at that time, the late Ronald Ngala, of censorship of the Prime Minister, the Jomo Kenyatta, because he had refused to release funds to the regional government. You need to read that debate. Ngala moved it, it was seconded by Masini Muliro, who was the deputy leader of the opposition. And then KANU, of course, responded. First Jaramogi, Oginga Odinga, and then Tom Mboya responded to that motion. The motion was defeated, but that debate actually is very historical. And I want to refer you to it. Go and read what it said. Eventually, KANU, of course, had to fold up and dissolved, and then eventually Majimbo was also dissolved through a constitutional amendment. And then what happened was what? They created a Ministry of Local Government, which was given a lot of powers. Ministry of Local Government. So the Minister of Local Government became an executive minister, just like a Minister for Finance under that constitution at that time. And now they were county councils down there that they capped 265. But then they could not do anything without authority in writing from the Minister of Local Government. So we had all these documents when we were there at Bomas. But then we said we wanted to give more autonomy to the counties so that service delivery could be better improved. We came up with regions at Bomas of Kenya. But there are people who really opposed devolution. The chairman of devolution in Bomas was called Dr. Odhiambo Mbai. He addressed the audience at Bomas, and by the time he finished talking, everybody said that man should be the chairman of that committee, and became the chairman of the committee. And he conducted the matter so well and so effectively that he became a marked person. What did they do to him? In broad daylight, around 11 o'clock, on Ngong Road there, off Ngong Road, in his residence, they sent assassins. And in the presence of his children, they shot him and killed him. The assassins of Mumbai were arrested. Eventually they were released. So I just want you to know that the evolution has got very many people and very powerful people in this country today. Then after that, of course, you know that ODM is a product of constitution making. And one of the founding members of ODM is sitting here with you. The other one is the former president, who is a member, and quite a number. We are going to have the 20 years of ODM in October, and all the founding members are going to be invited. To come and attend. Now you see, we said that we give clear, responsibilities. The executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. And the legislature is supposed to make laws that the executive uses to run the country. And the judiciary is then there to ensure that in implementation of these laws, the executive is not overreaching or violating the law of the Constitution. But then, so the work of Parliament is representation, legislation, and oversight. Very clear, it's written there in the Constitution. Parliament is not supposed to be implementing. Parliament is supposed to be oversighting. It's not oversighting. And secondly, there is only two levels of devolution. There's, national and one level, county. Constituency is not an element of devolution. Devolution remains at the county. Down there at the constituency, the county government does implementation of the projects. I'm saying, correct. Down at the constituency, it's the county government. By the national government is supposed to do national projects. And we go down there. And there are functions which are clearly been assigned. Functions which have been clearly been assigned to the national government. I will tell you, your legislatures, and a very famous English politician said that I may not agree with what you have to say, but I shall defend until death your right to say it. So listen to me. Let me say it. And then you'll have a chance to come and respond. So I'm telling you, I know that sometimes the truth is very bitter. I was there, and we discussed with the Karue when he was moving around to bring the CDF. The CDF was brought because of circumstances that were prevailing at that time. In those days, with a centralized system of government, there were very little resources which are going down to the counties. And that's the reason why the Harambee became the major ways of mobilizing resources. Sometimes you find nearly 100 cards in your desk for Harambees here and there. Whenever the president moved around, you'll go around to counties, to the districts. And then we'll be addressing people. People will come up to tell them their problems. Mtukufu Rais, hapa kwetu barabara ni mbaya sana, haipitiki, mvua ikinyesha kuna matope, barabara haipitiki. Mtukufu Rais, hapa kwetu shule yetu hapa, juzi mvua ilinyesha na upepo kaja katoa paa, watoto sasa wanasoma chini ya mti hapa. Mtukufu Rais, hapa kwetu hakuna maji. Mkufu rais hatuna stima na kadhalika. When he stand to respond, say, ni mnasema barabara ni mbaya, mnasema hospitali hakuna dawa, mnasema upepo imechukua paa ya nyumba. Mjumbe wenu anafanya nini? Yeye anapiga tu kelele kule kwa bunge, anapiga tu kelele kwa bunge, hajali mambo ya maendeleo kwake. Kwa hiyo mimi nitatumia mtu kuja kufanya rambi, lakini leo mimi nitatoa pesa ya kujenga hiyo shule ambayo kujenga hiyo nyumba, nitatoa pesa na kadhalika. That was the end of it. So the MP was the one who was being blamed for the failure of the national government to do certain things in their constituency. And that's the reason why we came up with the idea of CDF. That was that time. Exactly, that was that time. But then the constituency is now falls under the devolved government, which is being led by the governors. So constituency is not a devolved unit. And members of parliament themselves should not be involved in development, because there's supposed to be oversighting. There's supposed to be oversighting. If you have yourself being involved in construction of roads, building of schools, hospitals, who is going to oversight you? Who is oversighting you? So, Mr. President, I hold very clearly that these MPs know that they should not have any business in trying to implement projects in their constituency. Implementation of projects should be left to the county government. Secondly, the oversight, the national parliament oversight the national government, whether it is the National Assembly or the Senate. Oversighting of governors, the responsibility of MCAs, members of the county assembly, not the senators. It's not the responsibility of the Senate to oversight. Senate wasting time of governors to come and answer questions about roads in the counties. And thirdly, the issue of extortion. The issues of extortion. The issues of extortion. Majority Leader, you talked of, you didn't talk of extortion, you talked of lobbying. Lobbying is okay. In the US, you've got lobby firms which have formed to lobby the members of the Congress. They come to lobby, they're known, they're officially registered as lobbyists. They come to lobby the members of parliament. But lobbying is a different thing from extortion. From extortion. That you have a member, every committee has got a member who is how do you call him? Welfare.
Na bila shaka mtazamaji, huyo ni kinara wa ODM Raila Odinga akizungumza katika eneo la Karen, ambapo mkutano ambao umewaleta pamoja wabunge wa chama cha ODM pamoja na chama cha UDA. Mkutano ambao unalenga kuweza tu kuasisi baadhi ya miswada ambayo imepitishwa, na changamoto zimekuwa wapi hasa kutokana tangu ushirikiano wa Rais William Ruto na kinara wa ODM Raila Odinga tangu waweze kukuja pamoja. Kumbuka, hebu tusikilize kile ambacho Rais William Ruto